Good day everyone and welcome to our online math aralan, and today's session is all about differentiating exercise from a problem in mathematics. While watching this video, let us reflect as to what type of questions or tasks we usually give to our students. And in order to receive a certificate of online participation for this episode, just follow the instruction on your screen. According to George M. Budner, distinction between exercises and problems is important because it is a potential source of misconception between instructors and their students. Ibig sabihin, kung hindi alam ng teacher ang pagkakaiba ng exercise sa problem, maaaring una, bumagsak lagi ang mga bata sa exam, at pangalawa, maiinis ang teacher at baka magalit pa sa mga bata kasi hindi nila na ma-master ang lesson. As a classroom teacher, you might be giving your students questions or tasks which are new to them yet common to you. At kapag mababang score ng mga bata, nagagalit tayo, hindi ba? And we usually tell our students, ang dali-dali lang yan. We are not aware that it is easy for us teachers because we are familiar to it. But what we are teaching is new to our students. Kaya madali lang para sa atin pero mahirap para sa kanila. Kaya nga sa amin ni George M. Budner, if we do not know what is the difference between exercise and problem, a misconception between the teacher and student may arise. And we get frustrated at sasabihin natin, ang hirap na ng mga batang turuan ngayon at gusto ko nang mag-retire. The first consideration in differentiating exercise from a problem is familiarity. A certain activity might be familiar to you as a teacher, yet is not familiar to the students. In this case, the activity is considered an exercise to you as a teacher, but a problem to students. For example, fill in the blank to make the number sentence correct. Blank plus 8 equals 15. This question might be an exercise to you as a teacher or to those who are already familiar with this kind of question. But this is a problem to those who are starting to learn addition. And there could be two or more ways to answer this question depending on how critical the students think. The students may think of a certain number when added to 8 becomes 15, or the students may subtract 8 from 15. A simple question, yet a problem already to many students. Kasi addition or subtraction is usually taught in a linear way like 7 plus 8 equals blank and 15 minus 8 equals blank. The equation negative 2 plus 6 equals n is an exercise for most of high school teachers major in mathematics but is considered as problem for elementary school teachers, especially to a grade 1 teacher who is not teaching integers, and even high school teachers who are not teaching mathematics. In the same way, this is an exercise for grade 7 teachers, but it could be a problem for grade 7 students. Remember that our first consideration in differentiating exercise from a problem is familiarity. Let us say you are teaching the learner finds the perimeter of triangles, squares, rectangles, parallelograms, and trapezoids. We usually begin by giving a word problem or an illustration that requires finding a perimeter. It is called word problem because this might be the first time that the students could have encountered it. So, hindi nila alam kung paano sagutin. Since this is the first encounter of the students with perimeter, though they have already derived the formula in finding the perimeter, the concept is new to them. Therefore, it is considered as a problem. For us teachers, we know already how to find the perimeter. Ang katotohanan niyan kasi, bago natin ito ituro sa mga bata, ay pinag-aralan na natin kung paano kumuha ng perimeter. Tama? Since it is a problem to them, expect that it would be difficult for them at first. This is the reason why we use or employ different strategies in our teaching so that students will understand what we want them to learn. While we are teaching, our students observe us how to find the perimeter of a certain polygon. We show different styles or techniques. Then we say, let us practice, right? They practice using the style or technique you taught them. Let us use rectangle. Say, the sides of a rectangle are given. Find the perimeter of the rectangle. The length of the rectangle is equal to 13 centimeters, while its width is equal to 5 centimeters. We usually teach our students that perimeter is the distance around a polygon, and to find the perimeter, we just add all the sides. Thus, perimeter is equal to length plus width. Then we come up with perimeter is equal to 2 times its length plus twice its width. After the discussion, we proceed to practice. It is a guided practice. Remember that this practice is considered as exercise because the students will simply follow what you have taught them. The question will always be 1. The length of a certain rectangle measures 25 centimeters while its width measures 10 centimeters. What is the perimeter of the rectangle? Or find the perimeter of a square if one of its sides measures 8 centimeters. Or just simply draw a rectangle and write the dimension and ask the students to find the perimeter. These questions are considered practice exercises because the students just simply substitute the given to the algorithm or formula, or just simply follows what the teacher has taught them. The exercise is given to practice the new skills that the students have observed from their teacher. Ginagawa ito in order to achieve mastery of the concept. On the other hand, if you give these questions, 1. The length of a rectangle is equal to 18 centimeters. Find the perimeter of the said rectangle if its width is 1/3 of its length. Or, the perimeter of a rectangle is 50 centimeters. What could be its width if its length measures 15 centimeters? These are considered to be as problems for the students. This is difficult for the students because they are not familiar to it. You taught them how to find the perimeter by just adding the sides. Finding 1/3 of the length is another skill that must be taught first to the students as well as finding the length or the width. In the contrary, there are students who read in advance and might probably encounter the problem already. In this case, it could be an exercise to them instead of a problem. That is why we give enrichment activity for these students who read in advance. Some define exercise as a routine, paulit-ulit na ginagawa para ma-master. In exercise, you are often practicing a skill. Perhaps, you may have seen a teacher demonstrates a technique or you may have read a work example in the book, then you practice a very similar task with the goal of mastering that skill. When the students have already mastered the skill, it is now time that the teacher should provide a problem, but make sure that you have to guide them in this kind of question. Or you may have challenged your students by giving a problem. Remember that a problem is a task where there is no immediate solution. It is unfamiliar to a student and takes them a longer time to think out the problem to solve. In addition, you probably don't know at first how to approach solving it. You don't know what mathematical ideas might be used in the solution. Furthermore, problem is a type of question that requires analysis or higher reasoning rather than the use of algorithm. Look at this example. For most of us, this is a problem, but for those who are teaching trigonometry, it is just an exercise. This question is also problem to most of us, yet a simple exercise for those whose major is mathematics. In summary, number 1, the first consideration in differentiating exercise from a problem is familiarity. The more familiar the student to the type of question or task, the more that it becomes an exercise to them. When we teach a particular competency, expect that it would always be a problem to the students. That is why, as teacher, you have to carefully choose a strategy that would make it easy for the students to learn the new lesson. Always provide practice exercises after introducing the new lesson to achieve mastery of the concept. Then, provide enough time for the students to answer a problem. Problem could be given after the students have developed already mastery during the practice exercises. Then, provide enough time for the students to answer a problem. Problem could be given after the students have developed already mastery during the practice exercises. Problem could be used to challenge students, especially our more able students. Most of the times, problem is given during application part of the lesson. Look at the following questions. Study them very well and at your own level, identify whether they are exercise or problem. There is no need to solve for the answer. Thank you very much for watching and I hope you learned something from our session today. Next time, I will be discussing routine and non-routine problems in mathematics. Ingat po kayo and always follow what our governments wants us to do. Bye muna, buhay muna.